guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the easiest countries to retire in 2023. And before we get to the list of the easiest countries to retire, we have to define what makes a country an easy place to retire. Some important aspects are the cost of living. Logically, the cheaper the cost of living is in a country, it will make your life easier when you move there. Then the visa and residence permit options. You will certainly want to live in a country where you can stay for the longest period of time with minimum bureaucracy. A country that offers easy retirement will be the one where bureaucracy is minimum, and there are various categories of residence permits that apply to retirees. Another important aspect is how you will get in and out of your retirement base. A country might be cheap and offer a decent visa for retirees, but if it is in the middle of Oceania, it will certainly not be easy to get a flight in and out of this country. Finally, another aspect that makes a country an easy retirement is its language. Certainly, English-speaking countries would be the first choice here for most, but a country with an easy-to-learn popular language can also be a good choice. Alternatively, countries where English as a second language is widely used are good options. And now the usual talk, I'll do it quickly. If you want to travel, move or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call for an individual assessment of your situation. And if you like our videos, maybe you should consider subscribing to the channel. So please do it, subscribe! Let's start. We will start our list with one of the easiest countries to retire in South America. This time with Uruguay. Uruguay is one of the best countries in Latin America for its quality of life. Its capital Montevideo or the resort city of Punta del Este are safer than many similar-sized cities in Europe and North America. The financial requirements to retire in Uruguay involve earning at least $1,500 per month. The advantage here is that this income doesn't need to be exclusively from your pension income. If you have a house that you rent in a different country and the rent is, let's say, $1,500 per month, or if the combined rental income plus the pension amounts to $1,500 per month or more, you can retire in Uruguay. The main disadvantage of Uruguay is that Uruguay is currently one of the most expensive places to live in Latin America, with prices in Montevideo being comparable to a number of European capitals. So overall, great place to retire with a year-round mild weather, but definitely we will get to cheaper places further down the list. The second country in the list is Thailand. Thailand is not the easiest country to retire in this list, but I decided to add it anyway since it is one of the best countries in the world to retire. There are basically two viable ways to retire in Thailand. The first way is the proper Thai retirement visa. In this visa category, you need to be an actual retiree with a foreign pension, which translates to roughly $1,900 per month. This visa is only available for citizens of certain countries, such as the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and some European countries like Germany, Italy, and Denmark. The other option is the Thai Elite Visa, which is more flexible than the visa for retirees, but involves a more substantial financial investment. The Thai Elite Visa is available for 5, 10, or 20 years, and each visa involves a different investment dubbed as a membership fee. The cheapest option is the 5-year one, which requires the applicant to pay a 600,000 Thai baht membership fee, which is roughly $18,000. Doing a quick math here, 18 divided by 60 months, your ticket to retire in Thailand will cost you $300 per month, but of course you have to pay it in advance. Apart from that, Thailand needs no introductions, you have the sun, great food, and many cities in the country with a very appealing cost of living. Bangkok is certainly not one of them, as it got significantly more expensive in the past decade. That said, it is still cheaper than most large cities in Western Europe or in the US. If you really liked the southeastern part of Asia, but you need an easier, cheaper option to retire than Thailand, I present to you Cambodia. While Cambodia is certainly less developed than Thailand in basically every aspect of the country's public infrastructure, it will be cheaper not only to get a residence permit in Cambodia, but oftentimes also to live in Thailand's most famous eastern neighbor. While Cambodia for many years was only a destination for visa runs for those wanting to stay longer in Thailand, recently the country has become more and more appealing for a number of reasons. the country is certainly developing at a fast pace. The property market is booming, and getting in and out of Cambodia got fairly easier. Add one of the most friendly visa policies in the region to all of this, and you will know why Cambodia is one of the easiest countries to retire in the world. To retire in Cambodia, you have a few options under the E-class of visas. This will depend on whether you want to retire and not do any kind of work, or if you will still want to work, for example, to run a business in Cambodia just for the sake of keeping busy. The ER long-term visa is the option you have to choose if you want to retire in Cambodia and not perform any economic activity. The main requirements are: you have to be at least 55 years old, prove that you are receiving a pension outside the country, and have sufficient funds to support your stay in the country. In my opinion, Cambodia is currently the easiest country to retire in East Asia. As in almost any video we have here on the channel, for one reason or the other, we end up talking about Portugal, and this time it is no different. Portugal is the easiest country to retire in Western Europe if you are a non-EU citizen. So if you're a citizen of the United States, Canada, the UK, Brazil or India, and you want to retire in Western Europe, Portugal is probably your best shot. And why is Portugal the easiest country to retire in Western Europe? Simply because they have a visa category for passive income earners, with a lower financial requirement than in most other EU countries that offer similar visas. So even if your retirement pension is not very high, you can also add income from other passive sources, like stock dividends or property rentals, to obtain the minimum threshold to retire in Portugal. So not only you have an overall lower financial requirements to retire in Portugal, but also the fact that you can combine multiple sources of income make Portugal extremely attractive for non-Europeans to retire in the country. The next country is also in Europe and in the European Union, but totally on the opposite side of the continent. We are talking about Bulgaria. Bulgaria is, as a matter of fact, one of the few countries in the eastern part of the continent, which are also part of the European Union, that have a specific visa category for retirees. So why is Bulgaria one of the easiest countries to retire in Europe? Bulgaria has one of the lowest cost of living in the continent, and that reflects in a very inexpensive lifestyle for retirees willing to move to the country. Since everything is cheaper in Bulgaria than almost anywhere else in Europe, your rent will be lower, your groceries will cost less, but also your rate to get residency in Bulgaria will be quite affordable. Even with an income slightly below 1,000 euros per month, it is possible to retire in Bulgaria. Despite its relatively small size, Bulgaria has pretty interesting options when we talk about where to retire in the country. You obviously have the Black Sea coast, which is the option most retirees choose straight away. But there is also the capital Sofia if you want to have a more cosmopolitan lifestyle. And finally the mountains, for those who enjoy hiking, winter sports and fresh air. Back to South America again, we're going to talk about Colombia. Colombia is probably the most up-and-coming destination for retirees, expats, digital nomads, long-term travelers, and even drifters. It is actually pretty easy to understand why Colombia suits almost anyone willing to move abroad. The country has regions with some of the best climates in the world, like the city of Medellin, where temperatures are mild year-round. But it also has Caribbean beaches, among the most beautiful you'll probably see in your lifetime. Add this very inviting environment to one of the lowest cost of living in the whole of Latin America, which is in itself one of the most affordable regions to live in the world. Apart from the fact that Colombia is just great, retiring in the country is extremely easy. If you have a foreign pension above roughly $750,000 per month, you can get a residence permit in Colombia as a retiree. Colombia has one of the lowest financial requirements among the countries featured in this video. As we approach the end of the video, we are going to travel a bit north from Colombia to one of the top retirement destinations, especially for those living in the US and Canada. We're going to talk about Mexico. Mexico is probably the easiest choice if you're an American retiree willing to reduce your cost of living by moving abroad. It is close to home, it is somewhat familiar, there are a lot of resources, and retirees already living in Mexico, it is really a no-brainer. Mexico also has an extremely easy visa policy if you're a citizen of one of the 65 countries which benefit from a relaxed visa law in Mexico. Citizens of those countries, which include the US, Canada, and most European nations, can stay in Mexico for up to 180 days, making the country a great choice if you are a semi-retiree and just want to escape winter in the Northern Hemisphere. Mexico has a number of residence permits for those willing to stay longer than 6 months in the country. Some of them involve showing you have a certain monthly income, but you can also qualify if you have savings above a certain requirement. Next country, Paraguay. Paraguay is another country I have decided to add to the list for two specific reasons. It is one of the easiest countries for you to get permanent residency in the world, which definitely helps one to have a less bureaucratic stay in your new country, and because of its tax system. Paraguay is a territorial tax country, meaning that if you are a tax resident in Paraguay, you only have to pay taxes on income from Paraguayan sources. So Paraguay can actually be a great option if you want to have an active life and travel often during your retirement years, using the country as a base and benefit from its purely amazing territorial tax law. Getting PR in Paraguay is still very easy and can be done with an extremely low investment. With under 10k USD, you can guarantee your residence in one of the most economically free countries in the Americas. Albania is the last country in today's list, but that doesn't make it any harder for you to retire there. There are two critical advantages that make Albania one of the easiest countries to retire, especially for non-EU citizens. The first is that, since Albania overhauled its immigration policy, there are several suitable residence permit categories for retirees, and there is no lower age limit. There is one category for retirees which receive foreign pensions, where the financial requirement is that the foreign pension has to be of roughly $1,000 per month or above that in the local currency. Albania also offers the option of residency for real estate owners. The beauty here is that you don't have to own 100% of the property, as even half of a residential real estate will suffice to guarantee your residence in Albania. On top of that, if you're American or a European Union citizen, you can get a 5-year permit right away, so you don't have to worry about renewing your residence permit every year. That's it for today's video. Write down in the comments section which would be the perfect destination for your retirement. And to end the video, the usual spiel: if you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call with me, the link is in the description. Let's plan your immigration strategy together. And follow the advice of every other video you'll see here on YouTube. Subscribe. See you next time.